welcome back to Train Sim World. It has been a little while. We're on a train where we're not actually on a train. We're in a train station, and this is pretty cool. So this is one of the interesting things that the game allows you to do. So the story is we're currently at Ealing Broadway in London. We're in the heart of Englandshire at the moment. So basically, the current story is that there's a train driver needed for a train down in Paddington, which is to go to Reading, which is slightly further away. Let me just let's say here. Hello, people. So basically, we've been recalled to work, and we're not actually at the station that we need to be at. So we have got to take the commuter train, and we've got to be at the station by 7:20, which is our time to depart. So yeah. So as you can see, our current task is to ride this train into London Paddington. I wonder what would happen if you technically missed it. But yeah, so this is one of the things that the game allows you to do, is it allows you to set up kind of, well, commuter journeys, I guess you would call it. And the thing I absolutely love about this is the graphical finesse, I guess you would call it, is so much better in this than the old train sim games, which are still perfectly good, and people are still making good content for them. But this one's a lot more kind of graphically up to scratch. Plus, if you're bored, you can sit down and just have a little commute. I can see my own hair. That's terrifying. Cool. So the train is now heading to London Paddington. I don't know how much it actually has, but we can enjoy the journey, or if we didn't want to enjoy the journey, we can go have a look around the place. So this is a kind of first class section, which I probably should have sat at, because I'm cool and first class and all of that noise. Not going to disturb the driver, because that's rude of me, although I technically could, seeing as I am allowed. This is a disabled seating area. Can't open the toilet, which is immersion breaking, and I am not pleased. Ah, there we go. Okay, doors are supposed to be automatic. So it's quite a long train, this. Is it supposed to be this long? No, I'm not in a seat, so I can't actually zoom out myself. Sprint to you! Get the laps in! Woo! So yeah, I think this is all like pretty cool. Ooh, hello, another train. Yeah, I'm quite enjoying Train Sim World. I had a problem with it initially that the graphics they were trying to do a wee bit too much, and were causing the game to spaz out a little bit. In fact, I'm pretty sure last time I was out, I had a problem with like people on the tracks, which is weird. But anyway, hopefully that doesn't happen this time. How are we doing? We're still 4 miles away, which is a tad annoying. Are we at the front? Oh, we're at the front. Good God, that took me a lot less time to get down. So, we'll take a seat and guess we will... Good God, this train's a lot shorter than I thought it was. Interesting. So yeah, you see what I mean about the graphics, and if you notice the counter in the top right, you can see now that it's starting to get busier. It has dropped down from 60 down to 45, because of course I have pumped up the graphics to no end, because not having your graphics on ultra is for sissies. And are we going to stop here? Because this train looks like it's slowing down. Tedious. So now I have to put my career in the hands of the Great Western Railway to make sure that I can get to my train on time. Interesting. I mean, it also gives me like a unique chance to kind of talk about... So that tone basically means that the doors are available to be opened if we need to. Oh, and they have in fact opened. Don't think anyone's particularly getting on. Oh well, maybe they are. Yeah. That's probably what we're going to be driving in a minute. Maybe not that exact train, mind you. But yeah, so the motion blurring, you see it here. Whee! Oh, I'm dizzy. Oh, I'm actually dizzy. Ooh. I should point out, I'm perhaps trying to do this when I might not be as sober as I could be. It's fine. Of course, real train drivers are professionals. I am not. Um,
If you feel faint, seek help at the next station. Do not use the emergency cord, as this may delay help reaching you.
huh. Station announcements. Interesting. So yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna run through this journey because I would normally skip it, but I guess like having this kind of gives us a little bit of a unique. A unique chance to kind of explore things without having to worry about it. Because how often before when I've done train sim videos, let's be honest, have I gone into this view and started dicking about the place only for something happen and my train's come to an emergency halt because I've been trying to explain something. Oh, that's Paul. Okay, speaking of an emergency halt for no good reason. So this is some kind of construction yard. We've got a class 66. Is that right? Let's look at the front. Yeah, 66. Cool. So if you want to know how I know that, there's a thing called TOPS, which is train operating, and it's either protocol system or priority system, I can't remember, and it assigns a class number and a unit number to each vehicle. So there's six numbers in total. This is 066, which indicates this is class 66. And then there's 83, which is this particular unit number. So that 6-digit number, or 5-digit in that case, I suppose, is unique to that vehicle. If we go over to my train, which is train. That was a banner repeater there, which you saw, which is pretty cool. I've explained those things in the past for people that don't know what they are. They're put in places where you can't see what the next signal is, and it's basically used as a signal repeater. Because unlike in this game, real train drivers don't have the luxury of knowing what the signal is ahead is. So this is a class 166, so hence its TOPS number is 166 214. This will be 21. This will either be 215 and 216, or 211 and 210. Let's go ahead and find that. Actually, let's do this because this is probably more sensible. 214. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Right. So, what else have we got? So the reason I decided to do Train Sim World on a night when I've been, drinking, so obviously it's been a perfectly good idea. Feels like it's been ages since I last done a simulation video. Obviously, I've been away from YouTube for quite a while, and now that I'm kind of, I'm not gonna say comeback. I'm having some God, I can't speak. I'm having some half-arse attempt at kind of making more videos on the regular, and I realise of all the things I've done. Oh, is this a banner up here, or is this a speed sign? It's a speed sign. Oh, actually, it's got a good talking point, so let's go here. Yeah, I realised I've not actually done any simulation videos, so I figured it would be a good time to do this. So, you've got this quite interesting thing here. This is a speed sign, but it's a split speed sign. You obviously wouldn't go 30 over 50 miles an hour because then you'd be going very, very painfully slow. What this means is if you are a heavy freight train, you go 30 miles an hour, and if you're anything else, you go 50 miles an hour. And then there was one on the other side. Where is it? Yes, this one. So this is interesting. So this is all trains are 85 miles an hour, except multiple units, which are 100 miles an hour, which is quite cool. So this is a multiple unit, and basically what it means by multiple is it has the engine and passengers all in one, where when you look at a class 47, which I don't know if there's going to be any around for convenient locations. So we were looking at the class 66 earlier. That's just an engine. There are no passengers aboard. Of course, there wouldn't be because it's a cargo unit. But the class 47, which is what we're going to be driving soon, has it is a passenger carrying train, but it only has it is only an engine. So it's not considered a multiple unit. This is a construction site. Woo! That's the oh, hello. Right. Why did that make noise? I'm uncomfortable when things make noise. How are we still 3.6 miles away? I'm confused. We've been 3.6 miles away for like 3.6 miles. Is it because... Not sure what happened there. I think the game thought I'd fallen out the train. Anyway, I'm back on the train now, and I'm in a seat. Except not in the seat I thought it was. Okay, now I'm in the sea. I thought it was. Okay, so the game had a little bit of barking there. The game isn't technically in development anymore, but it does have a number of bugs and issues, which I'll feed back to developers at some point. But as you can see, we're now 0.6 miles, so we're actually getting quite close to getting into Paddington. So you can see here, I think I might have just missed that. Yeah, so this has got the, it's not called the featherboard anymore. I can't remember what this one's called, but feathers where it's got lights that light up. This basically just gives you a number and it tells you what platform you're aiming for. So we're aiming for platform 11. So this is where we are going, and platform 11 is this one. So we'll have to see how right we are. Oh yeah, straight into platform 11. So that's exactly what those signs mean. When the number lights up, it's telling you what platform you are going for. However, it's time for us to disembark this trainy boy. One thing I don't like about this is when you're in zoomed out view, which is here. Oh, I can't do it anymore all of a sudden. That's annoying. When you're in the kind of free float mode, you have to use the arrow keys to move, but when you're in first person mode, you have to use WAS. So I'm constantly dancing between positions. It's quite annoying. Anyway, this train is about to come to a halt, and we have to go identify our train. It's going to be one of these ones over here, I do imagine. But welcome to London Paddington Station. I know we've already seen this place because this is where we set off from the last time I did a Train Sim World video. But we're back, and look, a bin, and it's emptied. Delightful. Exit the train as indicated. My clairvoyance is telling me to go over here. So basically there's the exits, but we're not leaving this because we're due to drive ourselves one of those trains. Okay, so here are some humans waiting for the train. This used to really unbelievably screw with my frame rates, but actually it's not doing too bad. It's holding steady at about 46 frames per second, which is pretty cool. Yeah. If you wanted to, you could be like wild and go sprinting around your station, but yeah, you know, we're cool, we like to walk places. Okay, so we've got 2 Class 47 trains currently in station at the moment, or possibly 3, and one of them's hidden, so I don't actually know which one we're going to be taking. Whatever one presumably doesn't have a driver, which I'll find out by being at the front of the party wagon. So I need to be...
Security personnel tour this station 24 hours a day.
Good day. Okay, cool. Right. So we've got 15 minutes to prepare the train, which is fine. And I'm actually unsure about which train it is. The left one. Oh, it's definitely the right one, actually, if it's this platform. Cool. So this is cool. Actually, so I did the video in the class 166 last time. So if I go into here, interesting. So you can't actually go into the engine compartment, which is unfortunate. Can you get into the guards compartment is what I want to know. So basically, this is the guards compartment here. So if you've got any large items of baggage, this is where it would go. You would put it in here. But I don't think it is possible to get in, can you? No, you can. Okay, that's unfortunate. But we've actually not seen a guards compartment up here before. So it's got the wider door for getting bigger items of baggage in. Yeah, it comes from the old railway usage. Actually, I wonder, can we actually get in and go between carriages? Because we may as well do a train walk because we've got 15 minutes to do this. So this is L carriage apparently. So this is our chairs, nice and comfortable, all with tables aboard the Great Western Railroad. So if we pop on through, good day. Yes, it's nice and open. So we're about to get into the buffet car section, which is closed at the moment, but this would be a shop normally, which is pretty cool and interesting. And if we pop through, can't help but notice there's no toilets. So we've gone out of first class and we're into standard class. If we keep proceeding through, we've got more doorways to get on. And what a naughty. Yeah, I can't help but notice there's not a single toilet on this train. That must be quite uncomfortable for anyone who's consumed. Oh, no, 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 I tell a lie. This looks like the one and only toilet on board this entire train. Or is it just a really freaking long train? And there might be two. But yeah, one toilet for a train of this size must be a bit ridiculous. I actually don't know what the capacity of these trains are, but they're pretty hefty. Okay, so this is as far as I can go because this is one of them engine rooms. Actually, no, it's not. What is that? Right, okay, so you can open the window, which I don't want to do. I want to open the door. Open the door. Open the door. Why no door? There's obviously something I have to press to get at the door. Maybe if I lower the window. Door. Here we go. Right, okay, apparently lowering the window was the trick. Okay. So I'm not sure what is actually at the front of this. Huh, interesting. Okay, so got another guard section here. So this train, the train that we weren't on, is now leaving, and we've still got 15 minutes here. So yeah, we've got plenty of time here. Cool. So let's sit in the driver's seat. Okay. So master key should be locked actually. It's a bit alarming that it's not. Right, okay. Reverse is gonna go full forward. We're gonna put our into the day position. Is it daytime? I don't think it is daytime actually because it's getting quite dark. Okay, so we unlock the doors on the left side, which actually I don't quite know how to do. So let's take a zoom in. I don't know how to do it on this train. Engine stop start, wheel slip locked, axle. Driver, gauge dimmer. That's the horn, that's the fan, that's climate control. There is a button somewhere for the doors. Train supply, DRA, which we don't need. Actually, we will put the DRA in. Okay. That's a cab light, which we don't need. Wipers off. Okay. So the engine's already running, which is a tad unrealistic, because I thought we were going to have to start it off. So parking brake on. Don't know what this does. LED test. So where is the door switch? Alright, 1 second. Aha! I've looked it up like a boss. Alright, let's get out. So, do you know what I was saying before about the window? Okay, so the lock is on the inside of the train. So you actually do need to go compartment to compartment, and yeah, so doors are open. We'll open this door. Yeah, and so the correct way to unlock these things is basically to lower the window and open the door, which it's not letting me open the window from the outside, but we'll pretend it's been done, and that's basically how to unlock the doors. So that's interesting. I bet it's not actually going to work though. Anyway, we'll take a Mao John in. Can't open this one because this is a buffet car, although we should be able to open the one at this side. So all the doors that we can open are now unlocked. Cool. And it still says unlock doors, so there's obviously something that needs to be done that we've not done. Is that the same train that went like all the way out and then stopped? That seems weird. Well, obviously it didn't go all the way out because it's still here, but you know, whatever. Whatever. Yeah, we can't do anything with that one. Okay, yeah, let's sit in the driver's seat. Okay. Okay, so we're going to load up some passengers. Meanwhile, one thing I want to do, we've still got 8 minutes, so while they're all doing that, so you can see here we've got the unlocks. Open. So I guess, do you know what this is? So the tab menu is the guard, because normally you would have a guard on board to do this thing, and yeah, so that I've basically done what the guard would do. So that's basically what the tab menu is. I have just realized. I thought you could do it automatically, but then I kind of actually remembered what the tab menu was for. So any of these people are going to stop standing here at the train looking a bit like it, and the reason I wanted to do this is I wanted to make sure this door was still closed, which it is. Cool. Right, so we're going to take a nice jog now that we're all nice and sweaty, and we're going to try and get ourselves back to our train. And we still got quite a while actually, so I don't think we need to do anything other than admire the scenery. Now it's a nice summer's day, so it's still quite light, but you know what, it's starting to look like a little bit dark at the edges, which makes me a little bit uncomfortable if I'm honest, so I don't know. Don't like it. Aha! So that's why this train's being held, because we're going to line 1, which I suspect is over here to the left. And hey, look, there's no cretins in the tracks this time. That's weird. That's a little bit broken. So you see this panel here. This panel can be dropped down to expose the connecting mechanism to connect 2 trains together. However, this train has the mechanism exposed, but the panel's still up, which isn't right. So, yeah, that's quite interesting. Okay, now there is definitely going to be nothing for 8 minutes, so I guess I will come back when it's almost time to set off. Alright, okay, we're back. So, this has been a very, very short, like, few seconds for you. It's been actually quite an agonizing 8 minutes, because you can't leave the game running while you like, alt-tab out and do something else, so, yeah. Anyway, we're now exactly 60 seconds from departure, so I'm going to instruct our guard to lock the left doors. And just have a check that he's actually done it. So all our doors are safely locked. And no, there we go. Oh, so he's going back through them all one by one, I suspect. Yeah, that error just wasn't rendering in time. Okay, cool. So all our doors are now locked. I have checked that visually. We're now ready to go in about 15 seconds time. So let's just jam ourselves back in here. Door closed, take a seat. Right, okay. Train brake is in full service, which is fine. We'll put it back to stage 2, because this does take a thing to do. We're gonna take the DRA off and parking brake. Parking brake's off. Okay, lock the doors on the left hand side, which we've done. Right away. Okay, so the guard responded to us, so we're going to go reply to him by buzzing twice. Cool. Okay, so brakes off. So you see the last of our brakes pressure has gone. We've got a green light and we're now past our departure time, so let's get going. So we're going to set us off nice and gently to start with. Okay, everything's looking good. So as you can see, it started to get that little bit darker, so I have made the decision to put our nighttime running light on, which is no different from the daytime running light, other than it's slightly more illuminating of the ground in front of us, which I guess isn't particularly important. Anyway, so with a burst of noise, our train is now very slowly and quite horribly pulling away. Okay. So we're green light through platform 1. Actually, do you know what? I quite dislike these. I thought they were all smaller than this, but they're not, and it's upsetting my happiness. So let me just get rid of those. Next signal aspect on, marker off. Cool. So we're gonna apply that, and that'll be that. Right. Okay. Yeah, that's much better. That is much better. So in real life, drivers don't have this display, but obviously I have not had the rigorous training that these guys have all had, so I will make do with what I've got. Let's put us to throttle 2 again. So you can see we've got the green light because we're going to eventually be turning into the leftmost lane, the second leftmost lane apparently, I think. And I think, given how dark it is, I was actually quite justified in putting my night running light on, I think. Okay. So we're just holding us nice and slow for the next little while. We're coming into a 25-mile-an-hour piece of track, so I might actually just bump us up to throttle 3. So you can see the engine is rising a bit. That's a shunting signal down there. That's a pretty interesting one to... So here you go, you can see all the lanes are numbered. We're in lane 1, which is green, which is supposed to be a different color of green from this, which is interesting. But whatever, we're cool. I'm uncomfortable that the AWS didn't sound, but oh well, whatever. So it was green, which means my next line is green, which is good. Just gonna ease us to idle, because I'm technically speeding, I believe. So we remain on line 1. The sun is setting. How delightfully beautiful is this? Let's go out here. Yeah, boy. Cool. Yeah. I'm a smidgen worried that there's no... Well, that's a good sign that we're going a bit too slow for this track, as if we're being overtaken by a 166. But anyway, we're coming up to 50 miles an hour here. So as one Mr. Solo said in an infamous line, punch it, Jerry! Max throttle, let's do it. Okay, so we've got 34 miles to our next station stop. So the good thing about these trains is, due to their immense size and their immense passenger carrying ability, they don't tend to do short commuting journeys, which means most of our time is spent at high speed. Oh, there's actually a little indicator to tell you what the speed limit was. That would have been handy to know. Oh, that's a feather. So we started speaking about a feather earlier, but we didn't kind of need them. So if we have one that lights up, I'll speak to you a wee bit more about what it is. Anyway, we're now on 50 miles an hour, so let's just... We're actually going downhill a bit, so I might end up speeding. Yeah, we are now speeding. We'll put ours to initial brakes. You see the brake pipes have come on a bit. And we'll wind this off, brakes off. Cool, happy days. Signals are still green. We're now going uphill a bit, so let's just put us back into throttle stage 1. Light's still green. And, oh, apparently we do count as a multiple unit, so we're going to hit this. We're now speed limit to 100 miles an hour once the last carriage clears, which is... now. So, 100 miles an hour. Let's do it. Throttle to the max. So here's a banner repeater sign, which I was speaking about earlier, which indicates that it is on green. If I bippity boppity out of this self, you will see it will stay green. Oh well, here's an example of one that's not on green. But anyway, when I hit the next signal, which is now, it turns red. There you go. And so a bannered repeater always is white to indicate the signal's off. So white with a horizontal stripe is an off symbol, and either white and diagonal or green and diagonal, which is the modern setup, means that you are cleared to go at full velocity. So the sun is continuing to set in this little distinct part of Englandshire, and we're going to take it straight to Reading, which I believe is where the driver that was originally supposed to take the train is going to be picking us up. So the train brakes are off and the throttle is on full. We're green across the board in terms of signal. So I know it's been a while since I've done a train sim video. The lights are fairly intuitive until you start getting to 4-aspect signal, which is what that was. So green is the track is clear. Yellow means the next signal is red. Double yellow means the signal 2 from now is red. So it's basically double yellow means the next signal will be yellow, and the next signal after that will be a red. We're about to blaze through this station. Is this a station? Or is it just a funky looking bridge? It's just a funky looking bridge. Cool. Happy. Oh no, it's a station. I was right the first time. So we're about to blaze through this at a whopping great rate of knots. But we don't have a platform on us, so I've seen at some stations, I don't know if this is still done in modern times now that we've got like greater computing technology, but certainly when I was young, here we go, we're 125 miles an hour, so we're effectively unrestricted here. We're now catching up on the 133. Certainly when I was young, it used to be the case that if a train was about to come through a station at high speed, it always blasted the horn before it passed by to let people know. But now you just tend to get like a announcement on the tannoy. See if we can say hello to the driver. Good day. Yeah, you tend to just get an announcement, which is a little bit interesting. Whee! This is actually quite a fun view, to be honest. You get to just watch the entire world nipping past you through a bannered repeater, which shows that we are still green across the board. We're 29 miles away from Reading, so we don't have to worry about speed limits anytime soon. However, we're starting to see yellows ahead, so I don't know if any of them are on our track. I know that this one, there is definitely something on this. Yeah, so there's definitely something on the track to our right. I'm just noticing, I took a little bit of a pause there, I hope it didn't come through, but I'm noticing at certain points that the frames are dropping out a bit, something for a wee second there maxed out the GPU. I hope that's not been too prevalent throughout the video. I have been monitoring the system use, but yeah, it seems like something has escaped my notice for a wee second there. And once again, I feel, look at how dark it is now, I feel perfectly justified in using my night lights. And we're about to come up on whatever obstruction was in the other lane. We're now at 113 miles an hour, so we're clocking way over a ton. Oh, do you know what it seems to be? It seems to be when I zoom in here that this maxes out the graphics. Yeah. So as long as I don't look around too much, it seems to be fine. So I'll try and avoid doing that for your guys' benefit. It is a lot of scenery going past at once, and this game is actually quite graphically intense. So here's another Great Western train going past us at quite some speed. So we're blazing through a station here. If I was to use the horn, that's this one here. That's a famous noise of trains in the UK, blast it high, blast it low. And yeah. You can always dance around with it a little bit. I'm a siren! Okay, cool. So we're still 25 miles away from Reading, and we're still green across the board. 75 miles an hour, so that sign there indicated that if we were taking the left lane, which we're not, we would have to drop down to 75 miles an hour. I'm going to run us to idle because that's us now at 125 miles an hour. Oh. Train station. Nyong. Oh, hey! Achievement get. Happy days. Cool. So let's just bring us to throttle 1, seeing as we've dropped a little bit low. Actually, according to this, we're not even close to 125 miles an hour. Interesting. Obviously, must be a little bit of a differential between the speedometer and the game's understanding of the speedometer. Actually, we're on throttle 1 and we're continuing to lose speed. Let's bring it to throttle 4. See if that maintains a speed for a while. Because that might just be what we need to do, is we might just need to bounce between throttle 4 and throttle max. This is a nice train. It's an old train, though. They're starting to be retired, the Class 43s, for other models. I don't know why I keep calling them 47s. Also, why is this train's top number 0? I thought it was a bit peculiar because when you see it in here, the number is 00000, which is not at all correct. What's the rear train's number? Can't quite see from here. Oh, we're speeding. Let's just bring it straight to idle for just now. We are speeding like a bad sheep. Okay. So throttle 1 was too slow, so we'll just keep that down. Oh, another station. Yum. So I think the reason that you tend to do a high and low is that the sound carries different distances. I can't remember what way around it is. Somebody did a study of this, that like if you're at a distance or people are traveling at different speeds, there is a difference in which pitch you hear further away and louder, which is pretty interesting and cool. I can't remember enough about the study to be able to regurgitate it with any accuracy, but I do remember reading it at one point and thinking it to be pretty cool. Looking at my feet to reset the GPU because I can see that the recording is lagging out a tad. Another station. Oh, missed the horn. Good day, sirs! Cool, okay. See, so the problem I have is the frame rates in my game. So you might have noticed that when the screen's been lagging out for you, that oh, hang on, for me it still says 60 frames per second up here. It's because this game's quite graphically intense, so the GPU tends to get quite a lot of work on it. But the CPU does a lot of stuff for me. And the GPU is close to maxed out when running out this game. So I'm seeing it at 60 frames per second, but because my GPU also records my games for you guys, because it's already almost maxed out, when it does actually max out, it starts lagging out for you guys, but the CPU is not bottlenecked, so it doesn't show it for me, it just shows it for you, which is a tad unfortunate. I didn't actually think it was this GPU intensive, because at the moment it's only sitting at, what, 40% GPU use? Oh, train station. Ah, missed the horn. Never mind. They're just going to have to be surprised. Yeah, so if I'm here, the game is currently, what, 50% GPU use. If I look at this, it drops down to 40. And if I go here and zoom in, we're 78, 80, 85. And here you are, I can see that you're starting to lag out on the other monitor. So that's a smidgen of an issue. It's been a nice clear green run for us. I could get used to this if I was a train driver, that is for effing sure. Also, they're planning on electrifying this at some point because you can see that the pantographs, they're not the gantries, that's the word, are in place, but there's no cabling on them. And here the gantries aren't in place, just the supporting poles are. So on a long journey like this, where everything is going green, it's easy to become complacent, which is a bit dangerous. So if something was to run out in front of me, I know what to hit. This here is my emergency brake button. I would lean over and hit that in the first instance to immediately put the brakes on maximum, then I'd reset the throttles back to 0. Here's another train. Oh, there's another 2 trains. Cool. Ah, is this us? No, it's not. So we're still green through. So according to the time that we're scheduled to get here, we have another 15 minutes of journey time left, which is just as well because it's starting to get to close to my bedtime. Fortunately, I'm recording this on a school night, so I can't exactly spend infinite hours up just doing stuff. So here we go. So if I do this, see, it's funny because if I zoom in, this sends the GPU use to 80%, which is not good because it spazzes out the video for you guys. But if I do this, which is significantly more graphically intense, it's not. I mean, it's bugging out a bit. It's just hit 80% GPU use there. But for the most part, it's sitting there down in the 60s and 70s. That makes no sense whatsoever. Oh well, sod it, whatever, it is what it is. Right, let's just keep back on track. Part of the biggest problem, particularly when you're recording these videos, as I am, is actually just trying to keep yourself motivated enough to keep checking the signals. Because obviously, you know, yes, I do have this. And other than the fact that I am trying to be, you know, somewhat professional in doing these videos and keep monitoring for speed changes and lights changes, and it's been helpful because I've been pointing out to you everything that's been going past. And you even notice the small things like about, I don't know, 10-15 seconds ago now, there's a sign there that says 40 miles an hour over to the left. So I am paying attention. And also trying to present at the same time, which is a particular brand of difficult. I'm used to zooming in because ultimately the cab is not like what I want to be showing, but I keep forgetting that it's spazzing out the GPU, so I just need to be careful when I'm doing it. Okay. We're sitting about 120 miles an hour, so we could actually do to kind of just be going that a little bit faster. We're on a very, very, very slight uphill slope at the moment, which will slow us down a minuscule amount. So we'll leave us on throttle 3, that should keep us 124 miles an hour there or thereabouts. And as you can see, we're now like on a ball hair away from the 125 miles an hour. Still green across the board, approximately, oh well, it's only been 2 minutes since my last journey time update, so let's not bother doing that too much, otherwise one might get depressed. And I didn't tend this. I spoke about this when I recorded my recent Lepelgauspiel video. But oh, hello. What's this? That was an interesting sign. I'm not familiar with that. It was a speed limit sign. Oh no! Do you know what it must have been? It must have been that the speed change is no longer in effect, but they've not actually taken the sign down, which is interesting. Yeah, I was speaking about in my Lepelgauspiel video that because that game has no audio, it's so hard to keep. Because it's basically an hour-long video where I am just talking non-stop. Whereas, you know, contrary to the opinion some people might have about me, I don't actually enjoy the sound of my own voice, and I do like to shut up for a couple of minutes to be quiet and let whatever I am playing speak for itself. However, in a game like that, like Lepelgauspiel, that's not possible because there is literally no other audio in the game. 60 miles an hour to the right, which we're not going, so that's fine. It's just not possible because there is no other audio, so the only entertainment value that comes out of it is basically what I say and deliver, which means I have to speak for an hour straight. And with no stopping, I have to think of what to try and say, so it's kind of actually turning into very much the same kind of shtick, which is interesting. At least the thing is, it seems to be a recurring theme that the game that you're seeing just now is a lot brighter for you than it is for me. Because for me it's all very, very dark, but when I look in my left-hand monitor to see what you are seeing, it doesn't look too bad. Good day, train. I would hate to be a train driver at night time. Like, if somebody runs out in front of you here, I mean, you're not seeing them. I mean, you're just not. God, it'd be quite scary. Something sounds strange. Haha! So we're getting close to Reading now, which is good because it means that I can go to bed, for one. For two, means that there's stuff happening that we need to pay attention to. So we've had a nice easy run of trying to keep within the speed limit and whatnot, but we do actually have a speed limit change coming up, and we are also approaching Reading within a few miles. So I'm unsure of how long it takes this train to brake, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to idle the throttle. And I'm just going to put the brakes on initial for the moment. So you see the brakes come on a little bit. So that's the front part of this carriage and the second part of this carriage. So you can see our speed's now starting to come down a little bit. But not fast enough for my liking. Yeah, it should do us. Oh, actually, hang on. So we're going to put the brakes on because we're now on double yellow signal. So as soon as we hit the AWS, which is here, I'll have to lap it. Huh. Okay, the AWS isn't making a noise. That's annoying. We're about to come down into a 60-mile-an-hour zone, so let's just ease off the brakes. By the time they come off, we will have slowed down to 60 miles an hour. Or perhaps not. Let's just keep us on initial for the moment. That's 2, but whatever, that's fine. And we're getting ready to stop, so I'm just going to keep the brakes on, nice and easy. Bring us to brake level 4 because we're approaching the station. So we're now feathered. Hello. Oh no, that's not wanted at all. Okay, so we're feathered to the left. Let's completely off the brakes here. Okay, so we're taking it nice and easy. So the left-hand feather indicates to me that when we approach the junction, which is specifically this junction, that we are going to be taking a left. Now we're limited to 50 miles an hour, but we're getting ready to stop, and we've been a little bit over exuberant, so we don't have to worry about that speed limit change. Ah, that was why, okay. So apparently the previous train driver had isolated the AWS, that's why it wasn't ringing, so that was a very, very rude driver. Okay, here we go, so let's just take us in nice and gently, easy on the brakes. AWS is going to go again, so you're going to hear what it sounds like. Let's off the brakes. There we go. Okay, so that's what I should have been hearing throughout this journey, and I assumed it was a bug on the part of the developers, and it was not, so my apologies, sir. So we'll brake stage 3. Off brakes, coast us in. We're actually 5 minutes early, so we've got plenty of time to make sure we get there on time. I haven't actually driven these things on a passenger stop before, so I think I can probably be forgiven. Okay, that is close enough. So brakes to 2. There we go. Right. So because I'm going to be getting off of this train, I'm going to put the parking brake on, and I'm going to put the driver's reminders appliance on to let them know because we're about to open the doors. So we're going to signal to the guard to unlock the right-hand doors, which he is now doing. So the right-hand doors are now fully open. The people that want to come aboard are now coming aboard. And yeah, well, that wasn't too bad. I think I've done worse things. I'm going to put us into neutral, just basically because I am. Oh no, hang on. I need to put it to. Oh, cool. So just to make sure that the train doesn't roll away with nobody on it, we're going to put the engine to the lock position. And then as soon as the passengers have finished boarding, I believe we can step off this train and go home. Oh yeah, so you see the car stop sign? The car stop sign there is... Wait, do we have an onward journey to go to? I thought this was done. Have I prepared this train for nothing? What is my objective? I'm unsure what my objective is. I thought it was to take the train to Reading. Apparently, possibly not. So the car stop sign, which you can see here, basically tells whatever length of train where they need to stop. So we're a HST, which stands for high speed train. So we would take our stop exactly where it says to take a stop. If I try and find any others, if I head over to the other platforms here, yeah, you'll start to see these. So if we kind of zoom back, so you'll see you've got the 2 to 3 car stop and the 4 to 6 car stop. So basically any trains between 2 and 6 carriages would stop at this marker board, and then high-speed trains coming through here would go right to the platform edge. So basically it's to try and make things as convenient as possible for passengers, because what you don't want, yeah, so this one's different. So if you've got 2 or 3 cars, you would stop here. Whereas if you're a high-speed train or a longer train, you would stop over here. And that's basically to kind of stop passengers from having to like go sprinting down the tracks, because there is a risk of them slipping and potentially falling off, which would be comfortable for all humans involved. So yeah, this is Reading. Welcome to Reading. It's a train station. Woo! Never been to Reading. I know that Road Wars is kind of largely like based there. It's kind of my sum total knowledge of Reading, basically. That's cool. Of course, because I'm forgetting. Okay, so I didn't quite appreciate you'd be able to go up these all these stairs and things, because obviously you have the ability in this game to get up and walk around.
Unattended on the station. Luggage left unattended may be removed
But yeah,
without warning or destroyed or damaged.
that is pretty cool. So here's the main entrance to the station, which we can't escape from, and here is our train, which is very, very shiny. So I think the reflections are actually probably a tad off. I hear another train. I don't. I hear the back carriage of my train. Cool. I like if you glance off something, you kind of bounce. It's great. You bounce, having as much fun as you can when you're stuck at a train station. So this is possibly one of the less exciting parts of train driver life. Not that some people would argue that train driver life is exciting at all, but whatever. You kind of do have to wait. So we've arrived a few minutes early, and one of the things you absolutely cannot do is leave early, because leaving late's fine, because then everybody has a reasonable chance. Everyone who wanted to catch a train has a reasonable chance of actually getting on board that train. Whereas if you do, interesting. Whereas if you leave early, then people who would have been on time for the train cannot get it. It's the same with buses. Like you can be late on a bus and nobody bats an eyelid. Hell, it's even expected in the United Kingdom. But if you leave early, so help you God, you could get hammered for that. And it's basically for that exact reason. So, like I don't particularly know where the Great Western Railroad heads to. Presumably west. I don't know how frequently it heads in those directions either. So, you know, it could very well be possible that the next train might not actually be for quite some time. So it would be quite a damning problem to leave early. So let's see if there's anything here. So let's talk about feather positions here. So there's actually 7 possible feather positions, which is interesting. So you've got this is the first feather left position, and this one is the first feather right position. Basically, what this one means is, if it's illuminated all white, it means you're going off to the right, and that one means you're going off to the left. If there's 2 possible junctions to the left and a main track, you will have the first feather left, second feather left, and possibly even a third feather left, depending on how hairy the route is. You can sometimes, for straight ahead tracks, have the straight ahead feather, although I've not actually seen that used on any routes that's done on this. I've never seen it in real life anyway because I'm not a trained driver. Oh, here's a good example of a double feather. So this is feather first left, feather second left, and then like I said, if there's another one, it would be vertically downwards, diagonally downwards for feather third left. This is another double signal for, you've got the straight ahead option, you've got the possibility of feather left or feather right. If you get a particularly hairy junction, it is actually possible to see 6 or 7 feathers. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, which is interesting. For just now, I believe whatever is going to happen to us in 5 seconds time is about to happen to us in 5 seconds, or more specifically 2 seconds, 1 second, and task is done.
Thanks again for helping us out. Hopefully the other driver will be along shortly.
Ya boy, peg it. Run before they get a chance to ask us to do the other journey. Peg it. Run. Alright, that's fine. Thank you very much for joining this episode of Train Sim World, only the second one I've done. I apologise for, well, for a start, for not being the most sober person ever, but it's been alright, it's been quite fun to get to do this, but also because there has been a few graphical glitches throughout the game, which I only caught on to towards the end of my time here. I sincerely hope they have actually been okay to deal with, and that they haven't been too bothersome. But for just now, I'm going to say thank you very much for watching this episode. Don't forget, if you want to talk about anything that happens on my channel, I keep remembering this as I'm about to sign off, but I do have a Discord channel which lets you talk about any of the videos that I have done, any series I do, any games I play, or just anything in general. Feel free to hop onto Discord and chat. But for just now, I'll say thank you very much for joining, and I will see you next time. Bye.